Welcome back to WC Bricks and another episode of Building Gotham City. And what we are going to be concentrating on today is the police station, which will be going here. Last week I said that was going to be a police station, that was going to be a fire station, there would be a couple of other buildings in there. However, when I look back at the plans, the police station actually covered this entire two base plate area, because there'd be like I think I might have had the C was a little bit longer here, or there might have been a car park at the front. So I'm going to be basing it, making the police station a little bit bigger on there. And what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to make it so it is 48 studs in length and possibly 32 studs wide. And then I'll place it somewhere else within the city should I need to do so. I want to have a good think about the layout of the city, because I do want to have some docks on here. And I think with this city it is going to be constantly evolving. As soon as we make things, we think, oh, they could look better somewhere else. So I might do it that all the buildings I can just place on where they were. A little bit like what I was originally going to do with Wayne Manor. So I build it on plates, tile off the area, and it just sits into the slot where it's going to be, and that way I can keep the base plates all in place and just move them around. So if I stick to a sort of like a certain size, like multiples of say 16s in width or depth, then it will always work one place or another. So I've just placed a load of the 8x8 plates down to give me an idea of the size. So this is what I'm going to be building the police station on. So we've got 32 studs by 48. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of like just outline where each part of the police station is going to be, just to make sure that this is the right size, whether I can shrink it or anything like that. If I could make it a little bit smaller, it would be better, because obviously it means I can fit more in the city if a building is taking up less room. Also, this area here is the same space as what the base plates are for Assembly Square, so it is quite a large area, and I want to try and make my buildings smaller within the city. I started making the modular police station last night, and actually the police station itself was probably about that size. So again, I want to try and make sure that I can get as much stuff into a small condensed area as possible without losing any detail. So what I might do, I might sort of start off by sort of like removing, say, those, do this sort of like size, see what we can do, fit in there, and then we'll go from there. So we're just experimenting with arches at the moment and how we're going to be having the windows set on here. The brick walls are all going to be 2 bricks deep, and the reason for that is I'm usually going to be using a jumper plate so the window can be just set back a little bit. So yeah, it's just a case at the moment I just want to work out how I'm going to be doing the walls to start with, and then once I've done that, it's just going to be a bit of a visual, and then I can start planning on the inside of it, because what I don't want to do is plan the inside and then end up having windows where I don't want there to be windows. So as long as I can get a rough idea, I might build up sort of like the back side, for example, then I can start planning the inside on here. And just checking in with a progress update. So we decided to go for the reddish brown on the inside on the walls, and we're going to go for a dark brown for the floor when we eventually get around to tiling it. One problem we've got is we have got very little in the way of reddish brown bricks. So we're going to have to order in a whole load of them, and especially like the arches and things like that. So getting this police station finished is going to take quite a while, I think. I say quite a while, it's depending on how quickly Lego can get the parts to me. So what we've got to do is just work out where we're going to be putting like the floors going in on here. As I said, this floor is going to be sort of like quite high, where we have sort of other offices and things like that. So just need to now work out where we're going to put each room on here, and I'm just wondering whether to extend it by another 8 studs on there. So once I've done a little bit more on here, I'll check back in and show you what we've come up with. And just checking in with another update, and we've got the office here, which is going to be sort of like for the commander. Just need to put a door on there, and what I may very well do is have it so this is again on a sort of like a modular style, so you can take that off to see within inside of it. If not, I'll just do all the details now, and then that'll be it. This side here is going to be the removable wall, which is going to have the main door on it. And the reason I'm doing this wall is on that side we're going to be having the prison cells, and we'll just outline it with these door frames. They won't be using the door frames. We may use this one here for sort of like in the centre, but then the rest of it is just going to be bars, and then again bars on the top of there. So yeah, it's come on quite nicely. So we're just going to carry on building up and do as much of it as we can with the bricks that we have available. But at the moment we're making quite a list of bricks that we need to order just to get this modular built. I don't think we're going to have as much of a trouble building the rest of the buildings around Gotham City as this one. I think it's just purely because of the colour scheme that I'm going for with this building. because it is one of the focal points of the Gotham City. I want to make sure that it looks how I want it to look. So it may be a little bit of a delay in getting this one finished, but I think it'll be worth it. Anyway, let's get back to building. So last night we were looking at the book, The Making of the Lego Batman movie. And one thing I noticed in the concept art and things like that was the GCPD was nothing like this building. Now this one here, I'm sort of like basing off of the Gotham City, the Gotham TV show. And the building is just like, it just looks like a building, nothing impressive about it, nothing spectacular. This is like one of the back walls. This is a wall that's going to be up against another building, but there's nothing against it that I'm really loving the look of. The front side of it would have been coming on quite nicely. That's for all the arches on there. However, the one thing I am thinking about doing is, after looking at that book, is doing a triangular shaped building. So it's like almost like the Flatiron building. So I've got a couple of ideas in my head, visions that I've come up with. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get some plates out. I'm going to do an outline and see if we can come up with something a little bit more interesting. And what I want to do is I want to keep this section here, and I want to put that in the new building. So we're going to try and make it so it's that wide at one side. But it is obviously going to get a lot more complicated, because if we have it as triangular, we're going to be working with angles all the way through this. So it's going to be quite the challenge. And here we have it, the first floor, or the first layout, should we say. And as you can see, we've got a slight angle on there, curve on the front, so it's going to be quite the challenge getting this all put together now. This here is just 1x plates which are resting up against these wedge plates, and then we've connected it just here and down this end using the hinge plates. So what we need to do now is get this floor so it's all sturdy. So we need to connect this line here, this row, to this bit. So again, we need to try and find out where a hinge will actually fit on there, and then we'll get that all sort of like secure and strengthened up so we can move it around easily. And I'm going to make another one of these for the next floor up, just so we've got it as a template, and then we can carry on building on from there. Once we've got the template made and this strength up, we'll start working on some design for the walls and try and get as detailed as possible and see how we get on. Anyway, let's get back to it. So here was our first design for the floor, and although I was happy with it, I just noticed there was a gap going down here, and part of the problem was the hinge at the very bottom was forcing it apart, and there's no way of attaching it and pulling it close together. I managed to get it quite close on that part there, but there was no way further down where it lined up perfectly. So we went back to the drawing board and we've come up with this here. So we've got the 8x8 plates, the end is exactly the same style, and we hinged it on this section here. Then as we go back, we've hinged it again and again and again, and it looks like it's every 8 studs apart, you can put a joiner there. Now the good thing as well with this is we can put these 4x2 wedges just in the gap there, and it works out quite well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build up this entire section here using those, as long as I've got enough of them. Make sure it all works and it's all sturdy, and providing it is, we'll do another one of these, because that'll be for our next floor, and then we'll build on this. So what it means, we'll have one sort of like buildable area over this side, and then a larger builder area over that side, and it's going to be at that nice angle. And the good thing with doing it this way as well is I can have the walls so they're nice and sturdy on that one. That side there obviously wasn't going to be attached to anything, and it wasn't looking that great. So I'm hoping that we've come up with a good design on here, but time will tell. So anyway, let's get building it and we'll find out if it's going to be good enough or not. And here it is, the floor section for the GCPD, and hopefully it's going to work out really well. We've got a couple of hinges underneath this plate, so the wedge between two plates, so hopefully that's going to keep it in place nice and strong. Down on the end here, we've used some of the modified plates, so we can put some 1x cylinders all the way up between the windows on there, and then that'll stop there being any gaps between there. And then here, I'm hoping I can fit in a cheese wedge on the side of a modified brick. So not sure on that yet, I just need to sort of like experiment with it. But now we've got the floor all done, we can make a start on building the walls up around it. And here is obviously our template for the next one as well, so we've got it all ready so we can do the next floor up. But yeah, really pleased how this is coming on, and I'm really glad we've gone for this to see this look on the building. I think it's going to look a lot better than the rectangular one that we were doing before. Anyway, that's enough talking, let's get back to building. And we're just in the process of building the back wall up here. So this one's going to have a couple of windows down here, and then we're going to have a section, which is just going to be solid wall. Then we have the prison cell, or the holding cells, just the other side of here. So I just need to work out where everything's going to go. Then we're going to have the captain's office down the end, and possibly the stairs going over on that side there. So I just need to work out exactly how the layout is going to be. Very pleased with the way it's looking so far. I'm contemplating putting a tile along the grey here, then put some snot bricks on this part, and then we can have an indentation and possibly put some sort of like pattern on the wall there. But it's just something we're considering at the moment. And I might put another 2 windows down on this end as well, again just so there's a lot of light going through there, and also so that it's not just one continuous brick wall here. But anyway, let's carry on building. And we've made a couple of amendments to the police station. We've started putting the office in there, which is for the captain, as we had on the previous one. It's a little bit smaller by 1 stud, I think it is, in width. But we've moved this wall here. It was over this side and it's now over that side. So the entrance is on this side. Now, from the outside, it won't show much. But the reason being is we've got the line of studs going across there. And what I can do, I can tile like so on here. And then when I plate this up, I can just tile over the top of it, and there'll be a straight edge and no gap. So at least this way it'll be a nice neater finish on the floor. So that's the reason we've done that. So we will just need to raise this bit up here by 1 plate. What we're going to do, we're going to make the door frame so that's permanently fixed in place, and then there'll be 2 sections here that we'll place back in, so just be slide in so you can see what's actually happening within the police station. But yeah, let's carry on doing that bit, and then we can make a start on the end here as well. So we need to just put some bricks and windows and things like that on there. But yeah, really pleased with the progress that's coming on with this. And just checking in with a quick update. As you can see, we've got the archway in for the main door there, and I've used the cones here as opposed to the cylinders that we've used on the corners, and that's purely because we've run out of the cylinders. Easy to swap them over at a later stage if we wish to do so, but I'm quite liking the change in the style on that a little bit. We are going to need some more to go on the pillars that are going to be going up between the windows on the end here. However, I have got some clear ones which I can use in the interim. These sections here, they just pop out. So there's that one there, and there's also this one here. And the wall sticks out just a little bit on both sides, and that's to stop the wall from falling in once it's put in place. So yeah. So anyway, let's get back to building that door frame in there, and also doing the windows on the end, and we check back in once we've done so. As you can see, we've got the end all sorted out here, so we put the trans clear cylinders in. I'm quite liking the look of those. It's different from the rest of the building, and we've put the modified plates on here along with some hinges on the inside, and that's helping to keep it all in place, so it's really sturdy. On here, we're building the brick wall up. I've just realised I need to put some hooks in here because we're going to have the cage in here for the holding pen, so I just need to sort that out before I go any higher. And if I just swing this around, as you can see, I've put some snot bricks on here. So we've got a brick high and then a snot brick, then 2 plates, then another snot brick. So once we put a tile on here, the plate, when we attach it to it, will be flush with that, and it will also go flush with the top of there. And then what we'll do some fancy pattern along there, and very similar to what we've got down here. So we're leaving ourselves plenty of opportunities to put finer details on this at a later stage. And we're just checking in one final time, and here it is. The ground floor is coming on quite nicely. We've put the prison cell in, or started it, should I say. This is the holding cell, sorry. And we're going to do some black bricks coming up and then going into the wall with some plates. And on the black pillars are going to be more of these clips, and then we're able to attach more of those bars. All the bars will be the same colour eventually. I just need to order some in from lego.com. And we will probably do more details along the walls here. I'll just put that in as a, for the time being, just so it's I know how I'm getting on height wise and things like that. And same with the stairs, they will be changed over to brown. But really pleased that we've gone for this shape. I mean, it took a lot of working out how to get this to the angles that we wanted it to. We tried with numerous different of the wedge plates, but in the end I think that was the right ones to go for, and which was the 4x2 ones as opposed to the longer 12x3s I think they were. But yeah, it's come out really well, and again I'm happy with it that we've gone for the decision to make it so you can remove these side panels as well, and that'll be the same the whole way up throughout the modular building. So each floor is going to come off, but you'll also be able to take those fronts off, so you don't have to totally dismantle it if you want to look at just one particular floor. So I need to work out how I'm going to do it so people can get from floor to floor, whether there's a lift somewhere in there. If I do lift, I'm going to have to slightly tweak the inside of there. The other thing we want to do is we're going to have like offices at the higher up, interrogation rooms, more prison cells and things like that. And then on the top will be obviously the lamp that sort of like flashes the bat symbol into the sky. So there's lots of good stuff that's going to be coming on. This is currently about 13 centimeters high, and I'm anticipating this room being over 20 centimeters in height once we finished it. And I'm going to aim for doing at least 4 floors on this building. So I want it to be an impressive looking building, and Gcpd will look really good on the front of it going down there in the dark blue tiles. But yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this update. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. The more people that subscribe, the easier it is for others to find the channel and enjoy the journey of building things like this Gcpd building and building the Gotham City. Share it with your family and friends, and yeah, hit that notification bell so you can be kept up to date with any future content on the channel. Anyway, thanks for popping on by. See you next time. Bye for now.